What if you're COVID recovered? You may be vaccinated or unvaccinated and COVID recovered, but it's a whole unique group that you actually would argue has actually more immunity and is more valuable than all the others together.
100% true. If you've had COVID, you're done with COVID. We don't need to modify Mother Nature. And if you think of what a vaccine is, a vaccine mimics a small portion of a natural infection. So to say a natural infection is not equal to a vaccination is insanity. In vaccinology, we're trying to mimic a part of nature, whereas Mother Nature does it right. And a high percentage, Dr. Mokola would say, 1 in 100 million, maybe 1 in a million, if you have a weakened immune system, if you have had COVID, may get it again. But you're going to get it in a much more mild manner. So this two-tier polarization of our society, a virus isn't politically red or blue or purple. A virus is a humanitarian issue. And when we divide ourselves in thought and don't listen to science anymore, we're going down the wrong paths. When we look at what's happened to the children, going back to the children point, half of kids in the U.S. have already had COVID. We're not antibody testing. We're treating everybody with this terrible oppression of you've got to wear a mask. Doesn't matter that you had COVID. You've got to stay home if somebody in your classroom tests positive. It denies basic science, and this isn't upper level immunology. This is basic immunology 101. And we are forgetting what our amazing immune system does. How many of you had chickenpox when you were a kid? Probably a lot. Okay. How many of you ever gotten them again? Yeah, no. Did you need a shot? No. How many of you, Grandma had measles. Has Grandma ever gotten measles again? No, because her immune system works.
This gets back to common sense. Why are they telling us that natural infection isn't protective? Why are they telling us that those who have recovered still got to get the jab? Okay, there is a financial incentive here, and if there are a few examples that make it so abundantly clear. One is this crazy labeling of ivermectin as a horse paste drug. Hey, I give ivermectin to my horses, but I don't take the horse version for myself, and the other is this crazy messaging about natural infection. Why are they saying these things that make no sense?
Under age 50, with no comorbidities, your chance of dying from this disease are about nil, and if you get early treatment, they're even closer to nil. So if you were COVID recovered, which half of the young people in North America are, and probably here as well, you don't need a shot. And the shot can damage the heart of children. There are more children who've had myocarditis, and there's never such a thing as mild myocarditis. That's inflammation of the heart. Once you get inflammation, you get scarring. Those kids' hearts are damaged for life. There are more kids that have had heart attacks, like 5, 10, 15 kids now that have died of heart attacks after the shots. 400 plus kids that have had myocarditis that have damaged hearts for life. That's more than the kids that have died from COVID. Now the ratio to damaged children is much higher than to do benefit. And children survive this virus at a statistical 100%, age 0 to 18, 99.997% of children survive this virus. So why are we punishing kids for a virus they survive? It's illogical.
There's lots of people out there who got the vaccine and are wondering, how risky is it?
Here's what I do know about multiple boosters. The immune system is really, really complex. And it's as complex as the nervous system, which, by the way, comes from the same cell type. Incredibly complex. And one thing is, somebody that's been in this business and had all this stupid training for 30 years, more is not better. The assumption that another dose is going to boost your immunity to levels that it was previously needs to be demonstrated clearly, and the safety of that needs to be demonstrated. Because as immunologists, we know darn well there's a thing called high zone tolerance. More is not better. More can actually suppress the immune response.
After the extra shots, we're seeing the depletion of certain cell types. To your point, we're starting to document it and studying it. And to his question, why give a third shot to a virus that was gone in January and February of this year? We're on to Delta. The booster is not something new. It's the same shot for the virus that's gone. Delta's a new virus, essentially. So is there any logic to boost something that's not even here anymore? No.
It's just people are. We're vaccinating by giving that booster shot. We're vaccinating for COVID, and we're already on to Delta and move.
614G strain that we made the sequence for the spike against isn't even circulating anymore. It's not even here. We're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 variants on from that. Delta is behaving as a new virus. The antibodies don't neutralize it anymore, especially the N-terminal domain of the spike. It's a wrong approach at this point. It is the wrong protein now. It's not even a virus that's here.
Okay, let me get